Okay, after completing the second lecture, now it is the third lecture. I hope all of you have downloaded the notes also, but use that notes to make your own notes. Don't rely on my notes. You should write something extra on the notes provided by me in the previous lecture. Okay, now let us see about the further topic, nature of bonding. Okay, so when you compare to the elements of alkali metal and alkaline earth metal and 13th group element, the covalent compounds, number of covalent compounds formed by 13th group elements are more in number. Okay, what is the statement? Number of compounds of 3A group are mostly covalent. Okay, why it is covalent, that we can explain on the basis of Pajan's rule. Pajan's rule is very important. So if you wanted to comfortable, if you wanted to understand comfortably in the inorganic, two chapters must be strong: chemical bonding and periodic table. So please go for that two chapters. If you have missed any of the chapter, then it will be difficult to understand inorganic. Okay. So if you want, I will give you the complete playlist in the description link. Not a problem, but you should go through the periodic table and chemical bonding. Like here, in this topic only, we are going to study back bonding. But back bonding already we have completed. Okay. So now let us see what is this written. Most of the compounds. Okay, most of the compounds of 3A. What is this? 3A group elements are covalent. Okay, why covalent? First, Fajan's rule. These are the positive ions. For positive ion, we will compare. For positive ion, we will check the small size, polarizing power. Okay, what we will check? We will check with the polarizing power due to small size of 13th group element. Why small size? As we move from left to right, these are in the right side in the P block, therefore small size. When small size is there, polarizing power will be more. More polarizing power, more will be covalent nature. Okay. Next, high ionization energy. We have to remove how many electrons? 3 electron consecutively we have to remove. Okay. In alkali metal, only 1 electron. In alkaline earth metal, 2 electron. But in 13th group element, we have to remove 3 electron to get the stability. Therefore, as a whole, total sum of all the 3 ionization energy will be very high. Therefore, they don't want to lose 3 electron. Okay. And third one is high electronegativity. Whether a compound is ionic or not, we can identify based upon the difference in electronegativity also. Okay. When the compounds are electro covalent or ionic, we can identify difference in electronegativity. So this electronegativity is more than the 33rd A group is more electronegative as compared to alkali metal. So the difference will be less. Once difference in electronegativity is less, it is covalent. That we have studied in the electronegativity scales of the periodic table. Is it understood? So 1.7, less than 1.7, more than 1.7, that values I have told you. Actually, percentage ionic character, percentage covalent character can be calculated on the basis of three topics. First one is based upon the electronegativity you can find out. Okay. So that topic we have covered in the periodic table. And second is Fajan's rule. That topic we have covered in the chemical bonding. And third one is chemical bonding only with bond angle. That is Drago's rule and Bent's rule. So depending on that, here which one we are using? We are using electronegativity and Fajan's rule. First 2 points explains according to the Fajan's rule. Third rule explains about the electronegativity rule. Is it understood? So whether they are covalent or not, let us see. Okay. All compounds of boron are covalent. All compounds of boron are covalent. Why? Because the very first problem, the first condition is completely met by it. Is it understood? But further compound that is aluminium gallium. Okay. AlCl3 and GaCl3 are covalent in anhydrous form. This is a previous advanced question. So why they are covalent in anhydrous but ionic in hydrated? See, they are in hydrated or in solution, they are ionic. Anybody can tell the reason? Same compound, but they are ionic in hydrated or solution, but covalent in anhydrous form. Why it is? What is the reason? AlCl3, GaCl3 are covalent in anhydrous but ionic in solution. Very good. Okay. So not different structure. See here. The aluminum got two options. Either it can share 3 electrons. Okay. Either it can share 3 electron. Okay. Or it can lose 3 electron. It can lose 3 electrons. Okay. So once it is losing the 3 electrons, then it is going to form ionic form. Okay. Once it shares 3 electrons, then it will be covalent form. Okay. So once it is hydrated, so Al plus 3, then when it combines with the water molecule, how many water molecule it will combine with? The 6 water molecule. How many? 6 water molecule it will combine with. Okay. Then this energy will be released. This is called as a hydration energy. What it is called as? Hydration energy. That hydration energy can be used as a ionization energy. Okay. So that time it can lose the 3 electrons, therefore it will be ionic. But if it is anhydrous, so anhydrous means water is not there. So water is not there, therefore no hydration energy. No hydration energy, no losing of electron. Once no losing, there will be sharing. Once sharing means that will be covalent in nature. Is it understood? So hydrated aluminum chloride is ionic in nature and anhydrous aluminum chloride is covalent in nature. Is that clear to all of you? So in hydrated form, see what is the ion present. Is it clear to all of you? Make a clear note of it. If you write like this, then it will be easy for you to revise properly during the revision. Studying from the notebook, studying from the books and studying from the class notes. There is a lot of difference, especially in the inorganic. Handwritten notes are best notes for the inorganic, and questions, more number of questions in the physical. Okay. So noted this. Now let us see about the next part. Hydrated aluminium. There is a question. Hydrated aluminium means it will be associated with AlH2O. How many molecules it is associated with? 3. Okay. But question is, why boron does not form hexa molecule, or why boron does not combine with 6 water molecule? Can anybody tell me? Why boron does not form BH2O6 3 plus? Why boron does not form BH2O6 3 plus? Very good. Due to non-availability of orbitals. 6 orbitals, 6 empty orbital must be provided by the boron. So boron contains 2s and 2p. So 2s contains only 1 orbital, 2p contains only 3 orbital. So it cannot extend its covalency beyond 4 to 6. Is it understood? And other metals also. After aluminium, like here it is written, stability of MH2O6 decreases. Okay. After aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, they also do not form 6H2O. Why it is? Question is clear? Boron does not form hexahydrated because non-availability of d orbital. But gallium, indium, especially thallium will never and ever form 6H2O. What is the reason? Okay, one thing you can say inert pair effect, that but most important reason is due to large atomic size. Due to large atomic size, they are unable to attract the lone pair from the water molecule. Is it understood? So the attraction over the lone pair of the water molecule should be more. That is possible when it should be small size. Okay. So aluminum got the both advantage. Due to small size, it can attract the lone pair and accommodate in the 3s, 3p and 3d orbital. Okay. So it got space to accommodate and it got attraction also to accommodate. Gallium, indium and thallium, due to large atomic size, they cannot attract the lone pair of electron towards it. Is it understood? Second thing, boron can attract, but there is no place. Okay. For boron, problem is with place. Gallium, indium, thallium, the problem is with attraction. Attraction is less due to large atomic size. Okay. Once atomic size is large, obviously, what it will do? The nuclear will be much more distant. Okay. Okay. Next important compound in terms of the explanation is covalent compounds of group 3A. Covalent compounds of group 3A are electron deficient. They are electron deficient and deficiency is fulfilled. Okay. They are having problem that how many electrons will be there? How many electrons will be there in covalent compounds of group 3A? How many electrons are there in group 3A compounds? 6 electrons. How many electrons? 6 electrons. Why? Because as it is a group 3A, it will have 3 electrons. And when it combined with the covalent bond added with 3 more electrons, so sharing with 3 electron, total electron will become 6 electrons. Okay. So because of the 6 electron, they are electron deficient. Understood? So but their deficiency is fulfilled by how many ways? 3 ways. How many ways? 3 ways. First of all, they will try to complete their octet by back bonding. They will complete their octet by back bonding. Here this example already I covered. Boron trihalide. What is the example? Boron trihalide fulfill their octet by back bonding. There is special lecture on in the chemical bonding chapter, consequences and type, everything I have covered. So for more details, you can go through that lecture. Understood? So back bonding method is adopted. These are the 3 different ways. All ways can be adopted. But boron uses which method? Back bonding method. What is back bonding? After forming the 3 covalent bonds, the empty orbital of the boron and filled orbital of the halogen will undergo sideways overlap. So because of this, one electron will be coming here. Because of this, one more electron will be coming here. So 6 electron already here. Back bonding will give you 2 electron. Now their octet is fulfilled. Is it understood? And everybody cannot adopt the same method. Okay. So there is another method also. What is that? Coordinating with Levy's bases. What is that? Coordinating with Levy's bases. Like AlCl3 is a Levy's acid. Okay, what is this? It is a Levy's acid. Then it will combine with one more Cl minus. One more Cl minus. Okay. So then what it will form? AlCl4. Okay. What it will form? AlCl4 square bracket minus 1. What it is going to form? AlCl4 minus 1. So, but because of the -1 charge and all four bonds may not be equal. Okay. Why? This AlCl3, I am drawing the diagram here. Aluminium will have the three covalent bonds already. Okay. Now there will be empty orbital. In that empty orbital, chlorine minus will donate. Okay. This is the structure of AlCl4 minus. Is this understood? So here chlorine minus will be Lewis base. AlCl3 will be Lewis acid. Now total how many bonds are there now? 4 bonds. 4 into 2. How many electrons? Octet. So second method, is it understood? So they coordinate with the Lewis bases. So Lewis base will donate one lone pair. So once one lone pair is donated, then what happens? Already 6 electron, one lone pair donated. Total octet can be achieved. Up to second procedure, is that clear? Then polymerization. Polymerization I will explain. I think up to here it is noted. If not noted, kindly note down. Then I will explain clearly about the polymerization. And one reasoning question. Okay, now the polymerization example is 2AlCl3. 2 moles of AlCl3 combines together to form AlCl6. Now, how it is possible? What is the reason it can fulfill its octet? See here, this is one AlCl3. This is one molecule of AlCl3. Now, 3 electrons it is having, 3 electrons it shared. Okay. So, there will be one empty orbital. There will be what? Empty orbital. Now, it is combining with another molecule of AlCl3. So, this is another molecule of what? AlCl3. So this is another molecule of AlCl3. Each aluminium can have 3 electron from the covalent bond, 1 lone pair from the coordinate covalent bond. Now its octet is fulfilled. Same way it will happen with this molecule into this one. Okay. So now its octet also fulfilled. Now its formula will be what? Al2Cl6. But this is possible till the time they stay together. Once it is in the dimeric form, that time only this possible. This up to here octet is possible. Octet is possible only when it is Al2Cl6. Okay. So 3 methods. First one is back bonding. Second one is by coordinating with the Lewis base. Third one is by forming the dimerization, or you can say polymerization. Okay. Now the question, reasoning question will be why AlCl3, why AlCl3 cannot form back bonding? Why to take once it has to take electrons only. So, but why it is not taking from the own molecule? Why it is asking the lone pair from the other molecule? Is that question understood? Why AlCl3 cannot form or cannot undergo back bonding? Who can tell the reason? Very good. Reason is that due to large atomic size. Okay. Aluminium large atomic size and chlorine also large atomic size. So even though it got the empty orbital, even though it got the electron pair as a lone pair, but the sidewise overlap is not feasible. What is the reason? Sidewise overlap is not feasible due to large atomic size. Sigma bond length is large enough. So it will not allow for the sidewise overlap. When sidewise overlap is not allowed, that means back bonding is not possible. Is it understood? Why that back bonding is only suitable for boron? Due to its small atomic size. Is that clear? So, and boron cannot form the polymerization. Why BCl3 cannot exist as B2Cl6? Due to more repulsion. Okay. So, if it is forming, suppose boron is forming 4 chlorine. Okay. then this repulsion, they will be very close to each other because of the small atomic size. So lone pair repulsion will be more. Okay. So to avoid that, boron adopts the back bonding, aluminum adopts the dimerization R by accepting the lone pair in the form of the coordinate covalent bond. Okay. So what was the problem? What is the solution? Is this understood? Third A group compounds are electron deficient, but deficiency can be fulfilled to octet by back bonding, by coordinating with the Lewis base, and by dimerization or polymerization. Is that clear? Okay, next topic is complex formation. The tendency to form complexes. The tendency to form complexes by the 13th group elements. By the 13th group elements is the tendency to form complexes by the 13th group elements is more than more than 1A or alkali metal or 2A alkaline earth metal is less more due to, okay, due to what can be the reasons you can give. Here tendency to form complex means these metal ions will form as donor or acceptor. These metal ions will act as donor or acceptors during complex formation. During complex formation, there will be two parts, acceptor or donor. Very good. These are the acceptors. Being metal, you might be worried that how it can accept. Okay. So during coordinate covalent bond, metals will accept, metal ions will accept. But what they will accept? They will accept the lone pair of electrons. Okay. So this is a metal ion, suppose metal ion. Okay. Now, why this accepting tendency, the lone pair accepting tendency will depend on two factors. Okay. First of all, charge. This positive charge should be more or less for attracting this lone pair. What is this? This is lone pair electron. Okay. So lone pair electron for attracting positive charge should be more. Here 1A group less 1 charge, 2A group, what is the charge? Plus 2 charge. But the 13th group charge will be plus 3. So due to first reason will be due to high oxidation number. Okay. Otherwise high positive charge also. We can say high positive charge. Is it understood? And for attracting, who will attract? Nucleus will attract. Okay. So for a nucleus to be nearby, size should be small or large. Small size. Very good. What should be the second reason? Small size. Okay. Then these alkaline 13th group elements are on the right side. First you will find 1A, second you will find 2A, then D block, then P block, that is 13th group element. So 13th group element, one advantage is their atomic size is small. Their atomic size is small, therefore they can attract lone pair very easily. Apart from that, one more advantage is they have high oxidation number, due to which attraction force will be more. Okay. So therefore, tendency to form complex found more in the 13th group element rather than in alkali metal and alkaline earth metal. Is that clear to all of you? Should I erase this? Reasons. Okay, more than one correct reason question will be there. Understood? Now, examples where these can form complexes. The most used examples are NaBH4. Okay, what is this? NaBH4 is sodium borohydride. What is this? Sodium borohydride. Okay, it is a reducing agent, the best reducing agent in the organic reaction. Reducing agent. Understood? So in this, what is the complex actually? See, boron will be first, it will form the covalent compound. Okay. After that, that H minus H minus lone pair will be donated. Understood? So as a whole, we can say it is minus charge. So that positive charge will be compensated by sodium plus. Okay? So this is the complex. What is this? Complex. Same way you will find LiAlH4, lithium aluminium hydride. This is also complex hydrates. Hydrates are how many types? Covalent hydrates, metallic hydrates, interstitial hydrates. These are comes under the complex hydrates. Okay, so you can write down here examples of complex hydrates. Okay, hydrates already we have completed in the hydrogen chapter. Hydrates are how many types? Four types. Hydrates are how many types? Four types. First one is ionic or saline hydride. Okay, where you will find the alkali metal. Alkali metal, alkaline earth metal will form the ionic hydride. Second one will be covalent hydride. Covalent hydride will be formed by P block non-metals. P block non-metals will form the covalent hydrides. Next one is interstitial hydrides. Okay, or metallic hydrides also we call it as D block metal and F block metal will form interstitial hydride. And fourth type of hydride is complex hydride. Okay, so these are the two examples of the complex hydride. Okay, note down this additional information from the hydrogen and its compound also. Okay, next topic is compounds of group 13A. Okay, we have studied general properties. Now we are going to start with the compounds. Compounds in the sense reaction with oxygen, reaction with nitrogen, reaction with the other elements like halides, nitrides, like that. Okay, so first we are studying about the reactivity towards air. Okay, with air there will be how many parts? Further, we are going to separately discuss with the boron, aluminium, and other elements. Okay. Now, boron exists in two types of compounds. Boron exists in how many forms? Two forms. First one is crystalline form. Second one is amorphous form. Second one is form amorphous form. Okay. So, in the crystalline form, there is no reaction of the boron with the air. That is unreactive. Crystalline boron is unreactive with air. But amorphous boron react with air. Okay. At room temperature, at normal temperature, it forms boron trioxide. It forms boron trioxide. But if you heat further, actually, nitrogen is inert in nature due to high bond dissociation energy. Nitrogen is inert in nature due to what? High bond dissociation energy. But boron can react with nitrogen. Boron can react with nitrogen at very, very high temperature because the temperature is required to break this bond. Then it will form boron nitride of Bn. Is that clear? So before answering, you should know. Before answering, you should know about the state. If boron is given in the crystalline form, if the boron is given in the which form? Crystalline form, then there is no possibility of the reaction. But if boron is in amorphous form and low temperature, okay, boron plus oxygen at low temperature, then what it will form? Boron trioxide. Okay, boron can combine with nitrogen only at high temperature. Only at what temperature? At high temperature, then it will form boron nitride. Okay, 2B plus N2. Is that clear to all of you? Now, after this, boron nitride. Okay, next is uh, this is amorphous form. Okay. Now let us see about the aluminium. Aluminium have no effect on dry air. Aluminium also very important. You have like in boron, you should make sure that it should be which form? Amorphous form. Okay. And aluminium, if it is heated with dry air, dry air, that time it will be no reaction. Okay. If the reaction is with moist air, there will be formation of oxide layer. What there will be? There will be formation of oxide layer. Okay, that will take place only in case of the moist air. Okay. Next, gallium and indium. Gallium, indium, no effect. Gallium and indium, no effect. Thallium is protected by formation of the Vaseline. Okay, protective layer is must, otherwise it will react, because inert pair effect, it can show the +1 oxidation state. Okay, so compounds of the 13th group, reactivity towards air, is it understood? First, boron in amorphous form react at normal temperature to form trioxide. At high temperature, it also forms nitride. Same way, aluminium, dry air, no reaction, moisture, oxide, and high temperature, even it will also form. At high temperature, even this will also form the nitride layer. Okay. Okay, see, next gallium and indium also same, no effect in the dry air. Thallium, as I told you, inert pair effect. Because of the inert pair effect, down the group, inert pair effect increases, therefore +1 tendency is more. So because of the +1 tendency, it need not to form Tl2O3. It can form Tl2O also. That means one oxygen itself is sufficient. Therefore, highly reactive. Okay. What is the reason for highly reactive? Is it understood? So to protect that reaction, we will make a layer of Vaseline layer so that it cannot be converted into oxide. Okay. Is that clear? Okay, after reactivity towards air, now we are going to start with reactivity towards water. Okay, so like boron, boron is not affected by the cold water, hot water, even steam. Okay, but if it is red hot, boron is what? Red hot, and you are treating with steam, then it is going to react and liberate hydrogen gas. Okay, what is that reaction? I will tell you. And aluminium can react even with cold water also. Okay, but provided conditions apply. What is that condition? Oxide film should not be there. Okay, what should not be there? Protective layer of the oxide should not be there on the aluminium. Then it is going to react. Aluminium does not react with cold water when oxide film is there. If no oxide layer, you can react with cold water also. So what is the reaction between the boron and when it is red hot and steam? What is the reaction between aluminium and cold water? I am going to tell you. Okay, note down this. So the reactions are 2B. Boron will be reacting with 3H2O to form boron trioxide B2O3 and liberate hydrogen gas. Condition is it should be red hot, it should be steam. And aluminium reaction will be same, Al2Al plus 3H2O. What it will give? Al2O3 and liberate hydrogen gas. Okay, so this is the reaction toward reactivity towards water. Note down this. Okay, next is reactivity towards hydrogen. That means on reaction with air, they will form oxides and nitride. Same way, now when they react with hydrides, that is hydrogen. Actually, there is no direct method. It is not that 13th group A plus H2 gives hydride. There is no direct reaction. There are certain different methods. Like 13th alkaline earth metal also we have seen. Beryllium hydrides cannot be prepared directly. How we are prepared? By reduction, BeCl2 plus reducing agent NaBH4. Then it is prepared. Like that, these halides can be reduced, then they will form the hydrides. Okay. Now, most important, preparation method is not much important. Individual hydrides. Okay. And very important, this we are going to cover separately also. Hydrides of boron, simple hydrides of boron are called as boranes. Okay. So see here, carbon and boron and nitrogen. So it is just before the boron. So the properties of boron somewhat adopted by the properties of carbon somewhat adopted by the boron. Like carbon can form infinite number of hydrides, that is hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are alkene, alkene, alkyne, like that 3 families are there. So similar way, boron also tries to form hydrides of a series. Like if it is CnH2n plus 2 alkene, CnH2n then alkene, CnH2n minus 2 alkyne. Like that, borane also series of compounds are there and they have some general formula. So hydrides of boron, when they are having BnHn plus 4, n can be any integer, then they are called as a nidoboranes. What they are called as? Nidoboranes. Anyhow, we are going to study separately this important, but you can remember now. And if it is 6, n plus 6, then it is called as a organoboranes. Okay. So boranes are hydrides of boron. Like hydrides of carbon are called as hydrocarbons. Same way hydrides of boron are called boranes. How many types are there? 2 types. Nidoborane and organoborane. In nidoborane, general formula will be BnHn plus 4 and organoboranes BnHn plus 6. Okay. Next, aluminium can form hydride which are called as a alane, but they are stable only in the polymeric form. Because of the electron deficiency, aluminium hydrides are stable only in polymeric form, and those hydrides like boron hydrides are called boranes, aluminium hydrides are called alanes. Okay. Same way gallium hydrides are called as galanes, and only one hydride is formed, that is GaH3, that is also unstable. And indium hydride, and it is also polymeric like aluminium, but it is unstable. Aluminium polymeric hydride is stable, but indium polymeric hydride is only exists, that is also unstable. Galane, only one hydride GaH3, that is also unstable. So noted this, make a note of it. Then we are going to study very important, that is complex hydrides. Okay. What is that? Complex hydrides. Complex hydrides already just now I explained LiAlH4, LiAlH4, NaBH4. Okay. So these are called as a complex hydride, which structure also I have told you. Actually what I told you, they are acting as a reducing agent. Okay. So reducing agent, they both are reducing agent and they will use to reduce aldehyde. If we use the aldehyde or ketone, and after reduction, what they are converted into? They are converted into alcohols. Okay. If nitrile is IUPAC name, cyanide is a commercial name or common name. On reduction, it will be converted to CH2NH2, that is amines. Okay. So anyhow, we are going to study with mechanism, which part of this will initiate the reaction, where electron migration will take place, which side, that I will explain nicely in the mechanism. Okay. So but for the time being, complex hydrides are good reducing agent found using organic reactions like reduction of aldehyde ketone to alcohol and nitrile to amine. Okay. And their stability, this part I wanted to tell you. There is a question in the advanced examination. The stability of this complex hydrides. Okay, once this size increases, size of the alkali metal increases, then the complete stability of this complete hydride, stability of complete complex hydride decreases. Okay. Stability of complex hydride is inversely proportional to size of the alkali metal with which it is associated. That's why potassium you won't find. Only lithium and sodium why you find, because they are smaller in size. You never find KBH4. You find KAlH4. You will not find, because size of the alkali metal increases, the stability of hydride decreases, and this stability is directly proportional to polarizing power of this 13th group. Higher the polarizing power, higher will be the stability. That's why only boron and aluminium. Why other will not form? Because their polarizing power is less. So stability of hydride depends on the two factors: polarizing power of the 13th group element and directly proportional and inversely proportional to size of the alkali metal. That's why you find major reducing agent are LiAlH4 and NaBH4. Here aluminum size is more, so polarizing power is less. That is covered by the small lithium. Here boron is more polarizing power, so that is compensated by large sodium. That's why these complex hydrides are more stable than the other. Okay. So this is about the reaction with hydrates. Some more topic like halides we will discuss in our next lecture. See you. Bye bye.